What if a single spoken decree, uttered in the quiet stillness of the morning, could unlock not just your own supply, but could ripple blessings through your family, your home, and even into the lives of generations yet to come? What if the words that leave your lips were not just sounds, but were powerful, living things, your wands of creation, as Florence Scovel Shinn called them, shaping the very substance of your reality? Florence taught a profound truth. Every word we speak, whether in faith or in fear, sets an unseen, immutable law into motion. When spoken in truth, with the full conviction of your spirit, your words do not return to you void. They go out as messengers, as architects, as gardeners, and they build, arrange, and cultivate a world that mirrors the blueprint you have given them. They plant seeds of prosperity that grow into mighty oaks of abundance, providing shade and sustenance far beyond what your eyes can currently see. Stay with me. Stay in this space of quiet power. You will receive more than just a piece of wisdom, and by the end of our time together, you will hold not just a practice, but a deep, cellular knowing of how to unlock the infinite storehouse of divine supply. You will understand how to turn that key, gently but firmly, each and every morning, unlocking a flow of peace and prosperity so steady, so certain, that it will change the very atmosphere of your life. Now, let us speak a quiet truth, a practical truth you can observe in the world around you. Look around. You have seen her, the woman who seems to have everything. The beautiful home, the successful career, the overflowing bank account. And yet, when you look into her eyes, you see a flicker of something, a hollowness, a deep, gnawing anxiety. You see a woman who has wealth, but who has no peace. Her nights are long, filled with the sleepless hum of worry. What if the market turns? What if the client leaves? What if it all disappears? Her magnificent house is not a sanctuary. It is a fortress she must constantly defend. Her relationships are strained under the weight of maintaining an image, of keeping up, of striving and grasping. The wealth she has built is a heavy crown, forged in the fires of fear and competition. It sits uneasily on her head, a constant reminder of what she stands to lose. Her prosperity, built on shifting external conditions, feels like a house of cards. And then you have seen the other woman. Perhaps her home is modest, perhaps her income is simple, but when you are in her presence, you feel an unmistakable sense of peace. Her home is filled with warmth, with laughter, with the scent of something good baking in the oven. There is an ease in her spirit, a deep contentment that radiates from her very being. She is secure, not because her bank account is overflowing, but because her heart is. She sleeps soundly at night, not because she has no problems, but because she has a deep, unshakable faith that every need will be met. Her wealth is not measured in numbers, but in the richness of her relationships, the harmony in her household, the joy in her days. Her prosperity is an artesian well, bubbling up from a source deep within her. It is not something she chases. It is something that flows through her. What is the difference between these two women? Listen closely. For here lies the secret. The difference is not the number in the bank account. It is not the size of the house or the title on the business card. The difference is the source of the supply. It is the consciousness from which the wealth is drawn. One woman draws her supply from the finite, frantic world of human effort, of competition, of fear. The other draws her supply from the infinite, peaceful, inexhaustible storehouse of God. Florence Scovel Shinn saw this truth with crystalline clarity. She taught, with a certainty that could calm the most troubled heart, that you must make a decision about your source. Is your source your job, your partner, your investments, your own cleverness? Because if it is, you will live in a constant state of low-grade fear, for all of these things can and do change. They are channels, not the source. They are streams, not the eternal spring from which they flow. Florence stated the law with unwavering conviction. God is my supply, and she would follow it with its immutable corollary. There is a supply for every demand. Let those words wash over you. There is a supply for every demand. This is not a hopeful affirmation. It is a statement of divine law. It is as true and as reliable as the law of gravity. The universe, which is the body of God, is pure, intelligent, abundant substance. It is constantly seeking to express itself, to flow, to create, to give. There is no lack in the mind of God. Lack is a human invention, a shadow cast by fear. True wealth, the kind that comes with a deep and abiding peace, is not created through struggle. It is not won through grasping or hoarding. It is received through alignment. It is the natural, effortless result of aligning your consciousness, your beliefs, and your spoken words with the one infinite, unfailing source of all good. Florence knew this simple, profound law. What man decrees, God will supply. This is the core teaching. Your words, spoken in faith, are the tools of this alignment. A decree of truth, spoken daily, is like tuning a radio. You are deliberately turning the dial of your awareness away from the static of the world's fear and tuning it to the clear, strong frequency of divine supply. Just as negative words of worry and fear poison your conditions, creating anxiety and manifesting lack, words of truth bless, multiply, and harmonize your entire world. They command the substance of the universe to take the form of peace, joy, and perfect, unfailing supply. I know that voice, the one that speaks to you in the dead of night, when the house is still and the world outside is dark. The voice that whispers of the unpaid bill, the looming mortgage payment, the unexpected expense that threatens to throw everything off balance. It's a cold, metallic voice, and it spins scenarios of lack and limitation. It shows you pictures of what you don't have, of what could go wrong, of how you might fail. It calculates and it worries. It tightens your chest and puts a knot in the pit of your stomach. I know the conversations you have in your own mind. The silent prayers that are not really prayers at all, but recitations of fear, whispering, I hope I can make it through the month. What if I lose this client? There's just never enough. I'm working so hard. Why am I not getting ahead? How will I ever afford to give my children what they need? These are not just thoughts. They are decrees. They are commands. You have been speaking, day in and day out, with the full force of your emotional conviction, a litany of lack. And your subconscious mind, which Florence Scovel Shinn called the faithful servant, hears these commands. It does not judge them. It does not question them. It simply accepts them as the blueprint and goes to work, diligently building a life that matches the specifications you have provided. In essence, been praying without ceasing for the very things you do not want. Let's bring this down to earth. Let's see how this law is already operating, silently and perfectly, in your everyday life. Think of the woman who dreams of starting her own heart-centered business. She is brilliant, gifted, and has so much to offer the world. But her inner monologue is a stream of doubt. Am I good enough? Who would pay me for this? There's so much competition. When she speaks to potential clients, she does so with an undercurrent of apology in her voice, an energy of needing the sale, which people can feel and are subtly repelled by. She is using the law perfectly. Her words of doubt are creating a reality of struggle and scarcity. Her business limps along, forever on the edge of collapse, a perfect mirror of her inner state. Now, imagine that same woman experiences a shift. She discovers this truth. She decides, as an experiment, to change her spoken word. She stops verbalizing the doubt. She begins every morning to declare, "My business is a divine idea, and it is now drawing to me all that it needs to flourish. I am a magnet for my perfect clients who rejoice in my work and pay me gladly." At first, it feels like a lie. Her outer reality hasn't changed, but she persists. She speaks the words. She starts to feel the truth of them. Her energy shifts. The apology in her voice is replaced by a quiet confidence. The neediness is replaced by a sense of service. And then the outer world begins to conform. An old friend calls with a perfect referral. A post she makes online suddenly goes viral. An opportunity she never could have engineered falls into her lap. The channels opened, not because she worked harder, but because she aligned her word with the law of supply. Consider the mother, the keeper of the home who carries the weight of her family's well-being on her shoulders. She clips coupons, she watches the bank account dwindle, and she speaks constantly of how expensive everything is. We can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. Her children absorb this consciousness of lack. The very atmosphere of the home becomes constricted, tight, and anxious. It is a home built on the foundation of not enough. But then this mother decides to change the foundation. She begins her day not with a mental calculation of her debts, but with a spoken declaration of her supply. She speaks the words of truth over her home, over her children, over her husband. She declares that her household is blessed, that it is a place of peace, harmony, and abundance. Her fear begins to recede. As her inner state shifts, she becomes more creative, more resourceful. She suddenly gets an idea for a small home-based venture that brings in extra income with joy and ease. Her husband, no longer burdened by the silent pressure of her anxiety, feels lighter, more inspired at his own work, and receives an unexpected promotion. The entire family is lifted, not by a change in circumstance, but by a change in the mother's consciousness, expressed through her spoken word. The prosperity she invited into her own heart rippled outward and blessed everyone she loved. Think of the artist, the writer, the healer, the one whose work is a direct expression of her soul. She has been conditioned by a world that often separates the sacred from the profitable. She carries a deep, limiting belief that spiritual work should be free, or that it is somehow unholy to desire abundant compensation for her gifts. So she undercharges, she gives her work away, she feels a sense of guilt when she asks to be paid. She is in a constant state of financial struggle, which drains her energy and stifles her creativity. Her words are, "I just want to help people. I don't care about the money." But this is a spiritual half-truth that keeps her trapped in lack. Then she learns that divine supply supports all divine expression. God is not a source of lack. The universe is infinitely abundant. She realizes that being well compensated allows her to serve more deeply, to reach more people, to create from a place of overflow instead of depletion. She changes her decree. She begins to affirm, "I am divinely compensated for my divine gifts. I am a free and open channel for wealth to flow through me, for the good of all." She raises her prices, not with aggression, but with a deep sense of self-worth and a clear understanding of the value she provides. And a miracle happens. She attracts clients who not only can afford her new rates, but who are overjoyed to pay them. They see her value because she finally sees it herself. Her financial life comes into harmony with her spiritual life, and both flourish in ways she never thought possible. In every one of these stories, the law was always working. It was never broken. It was never absent. It was simply producing results based on the input it was given. The fear created more fear. The belief in lack created more lack. The words of struggle created more struggle. And this is the most powerful news you will ever receive. Now, hear this truth. Breathe it in. Let it settle into the very marrow of your bones. You are not broken. You are not a beginner at this game of creation. You have been a master creator your entire life. A powerful, magnificent creator who has simply been working from a faulty blueprint. This realization is not meant to be a source of shame or regret. Let any feeling of that kind simply wash away. This is not a scolding. This is an awakening. This is the moment you walk into the control room of your own life, look at the dials, and realize, with a gasp of exhilarating power, I can change the station. This is not about what you have done wrong. It is about what you can now, this very day, this very moment, begin to do right. Florence understood the fundamental cosmic equation. Fear attracts fear, and faith attracts faith. You have simply been playing a very sad song. As we've discussed, your subconscious mind is your faithful servant. It is a powerful, creative force, but it has no will of its own. It only acts upon the orders it is given by the conscious mind. You're fearful. Worried, conscious thoughts have been giving this servant a steady stream of orders for lack, for struggle, for disappointment. And your faithful servant, wanting only to please you, has worked tirelessly to bring these orders into physical form. Can you see the profound freedom in this? You don't need to fix your servant. You don't need to get a new one. You simply need to change your orders. You are the sovereign of your house. Your word is law. Florence would say you are playing the great game of life, and with the right words, you cannot fail to win. You are already using this law. You cannot not use it. It is like gravity. You don't decide whether or not to participate in the law of gravity. You are already participating. The only choice you have is whether you will work in harmony with it, building beautiful structures, or work against it, stumbling and falling. The same is true for the law of the spoken word. You are speaking your world into existence with every sentence you utter, with every thought you entertain. The only question is, what world are you creating? Is it a world of your conscious, deliberate, soul-aligned choosing? Or is it a world created by default, from the inherited fears and limiting beliefs of your past? Today, you take back your power, not with a fist, but with an open hand, not with a shout, but with a quiet, certain word. You are remembering your divine authority. You are the one who gives the orders. And from this day forward, the orders have changed. So how do we begin? How do we take this profound truth and weave it into the fabric of our daily lives? Not as another chore, another thing to add to our to-do list, but as a sacred act of self-reclamation, a moment of deep nourishment for the soul. We will do this with 3 simple, sacred steps, a daily practice to be performed with softness, with rhythm, and with a deep sense of reverence. The first sacred step is to create the stillness before the day begins, before the phone is checked, before the noise of the world's demands rushes in to claim your attention. Find a moment that is yours and yours alone. It may be 5 minutes, it may be 20. The duration is less important than the intention. Go to a quiet place in your home. Sit, close your eyes, and for just a moment, do nothing. Simply breathe. Feel the weight of your body in the chair. Listen to the silence of the pre-dawn house. This is your sanctuary. This is the holy ground where you will meet with the truth of your own being. In this moment, you are not a mother, a wife, a daughter, an employee. Let those roles gently fall away. Here, you are a divine creator, standing in the creative void from which all things are born. You are clearing the channel. You are preparing the soil. You are making your consciousness receptive to a higher truth. Let go of yesterday's worries. Release your plans for the day ahead. Be here, now, in this sacred stillness. From this place of calm receptivity, you will speak the word, not just in your mind, but aloud. Let the vibration of your own voice fill the room. The spoken word has a power that a silent thought does not. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is spirit taking its first step into material form. You will speak this decree: God is my unfailing supply. Wealth flows to me in perfect ways, bringing peace, joy, and harmony to me and to my household. There is immense power in these words. The phrase, God is my unfailing supply, declares your source, taking your attention off of the failing, fluctuating channels of the world and placing it firmly on the one infinite, unchanging source of all good. The words, wealth flows to me in perfect ways, release your need to control, opening you to unexpected blessings, surprising opportunities, and grace. And finally, the qualifier, bringing peace, joy, and harmony to me and to my household, ensures that your prosperity is a blessing, not a burden. It commands that your abundance will bless your relationships, sanctify your home, and uplift everyone in your orbit. Now for the practice itself. I invite you to speak it 7 times. Florence never prescribed a specific number. Her focus was always on the feeling and the faith. But repetition is the language of the subconscious mind. And 7, in the spiritual language of scripture and ancient wisdom, has always been the number of divine completion, of a finished work. The first time you speak it, it may feel hollow, like an echo in an empty room. Speak it anyway. The second time, you may feel a flicker of resistance, a voice of doubt saying, this is silly. Speak it anyway. By the third and fourth repetitions, feel the words begin to take root. Feel the rhythm of them. Let them become a hum, a vibration inside your own chest. With the 5th and 6th, allow the meaning to sink deeper. Let it bypass the skeptical conscious mind and speak directly to your faithful servant, the subconscious. And with the 7th and final declaration, speak it as a settled truth, a done deal, a statement of what is. Anchor it into your spirit as a reality that is already complete in the mind of God. This leads us to the final, crucial step, the one that ignites the engine of creation. It is the step of feeling the reality. After you have spoken the decree for the 7th time, do not rush to get up. Remain in the stillness for another minute or 2. And in that stillness, feel the truth of what you have just declared. What does it feel like to know, with absolute certainty, that God is your unfailing supply? Feel the knot in your stomach dissolve. Feel the tension in your shoulders release. Feel a wave of profound peace wash over you. Imagine opening your bills, not with dread, but with gratitude, knowing you have more than enough to pay them joyfully. Imagine walking through a grocery store and filling your cart with wholesome, beautiful food, without a single thought of lack. Imagine giving generously to a cause or a person you care about, feeling the pure joy of circulation. Imagine sleeping deeply, peacefully through the entire night, your mind at rest, secure in the knowledge that you and your loved ones are perfectly cared for. This feeling, this state of being is the prayer. The words aligned you, but the feeling magnetizes the result. You are generating the emotional frequency that will draw to you the physical equivalent of your decree. You are living in the end result. And to fortify this new consciousness throughout your day, hold these Florence-style affirmations in your heart. Speak them whenever a wave of the old fear tries to return. Every channel is open. Every demand is met. My world is filled with the substance of spirit, and I see abundance everywhere I look. I move under direct inspiration, in my perfect place, doing my perfect work for my perfect pay. My path is cleared, and my way is made prosperous. The divine plan of my life now unfolds. I am a magnet for miracles, and my supply is infinite, visible, and immediate. This is your sacred work. This is how you turn the key. Now a word of loving but firm guidance. It is vital to understand this next part. This is where many people falter. In the beginning, as you start this practice, the outer world may not change immediately. In fact, things may even seem to get a little chaotic. The old patterns of fear will not go quietly. The moment you declare your new truth of abundance, the deeply grooved neural pathways of lack will fight for their survival. A voice will whisper, "Who are you kidding? Look at your bank account. Nothing has changed." An unexpected bill may arrive in the mail, as if to test your newfound faith. A client may cancel. This is not a sign that the law isn't working. This is the absolute, undeniable proof that it is. This is the static. This is the resistance of the old energy as it is being dislodged and overwritten by the new, higher frequency. Do not be alarmed. Do not falter. Think of it as a healing surge. Think of it like this. For years, you have been planting weeds of fear and limitation in the garden of your life. Now, you've decided to plant a new garden, one of roses and fruit trees and nourishing vegetables. The first step is to pull up the old weeds. This disturbs the soil. It looks messy. It doesn't look like a beautiful garden yet, but the work of transformation is happening. You are tilling the soil of your consciousness, preparing it for the new seeds of truth you are planting each morning with your decree. The seeds are germinating in the darkness, beneath the surface. You cannot see the growth yet, but it is happening. Your only job is to keep watering the new seeds with your faith and your feeling, and to refrain from planting any more weeds. Now, pause and take a breath. If another image serves you better, imagine your life as a massive ocean liner that has been steaming south toward the cold waters of lack for decades. Today, you have stepped onto the bridge and turned the great wheel of the ship. You have set a new course, north, toward the warm, sunlit waters of abundance. A ship that large does not turn on a dime. It begins a long, slow, powerful arc. For a while, if you only look at the water immediately around you, it might seem like you are still heading in the old direction. But the rudder has been turned. The new destination is inevitable. Your daily decree is the turning of that rudder. Hold it steady. Trust the turn. The new scenery is coming into view. Your present circumstances are merely the echo of your past thoughts and words. They are old news. They are the harvest of seeds you planted long ago. Do not give them your power. Do not let them convince you that your new word is untrue. Your job is not to fix the outer world. Your job is to hold steady in the inner world of your new consciousness. It is to maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, regardless of what your five senses are reporting. This is the test of faith, and it is a test you are more than equipped to pass. And so we come to the heart of it all, the one central truth that you must carry with you from this day forward. You are not broken. You were never broken. You are a divine, magnificent being, an expression of God itself, who simply forgot the language of your own power. You were taught the language of the world, the language of limitation, of striving, of fear, and you became fluent in it. But deep within you, the mother tongue of your soul has always been waiting. The language of truth, the language of infinite possibility, the language of divine law. And today, you are remembering. This practice is not about learning something new. It is about remembering who you have always been. It is not about fixing a flaw within you. It is about clearing away the dust of false belief so that the perfect, flawless diamond of your true self can shine. The choice, as always, is yours. Each morning, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads back into the familiar territory of worry, of calculating, of looking to the world for your security. The other path, the one less traveled, leads you into the quiet sanctuary of your own being, where you can speak the word that aligns you with all the power and abundance of the universe. Which path will you choose tomorrow morning? And so I invite you now. In the space below, let us make a public declaration. Not for anyone else, but for yourself. Let it be a stake in the ground, an anchor for your new reality. Let it be a signal to your own subconscious mind and to the universe that you are ready. Type the words, "I receive divine supply." Feel the power as you write them. Feel the certainty as you press send. You are not just typing into a comment box. You are issuing a new command to your faithful servant. You are changing the broadcast. You are setting a new law in motion for your life. And as you go about your day, from this moment forward, carry this one question in your heart. Let it be your guide. Let it be your compass. If I truly knew, without a single shadow of a doubt, that God was my unfailing supply, how would I walk? How would I speak? How would I breathe? Go and be that woman, for that is who you truly are.